In Motion è un dialogo inedito tra due grandi movimenti del Novecento, il futurismo italiano e il graffitismo americano. Si tratta di due movimenti apparentemente distanti ma in realtà molto simili. Tantissimi degli appartenenti al movimento del graffitismo americano ritengono e riconoscono nel futurismo un'influenza diretta. La velocità, il dinamismo, il colore, tante aree rappresenteranno questa mostra e ne andranno a raffigurare l'importanza anche storica e la rilevanza culturale di entrambi i movimenti.
Questa mostra vuole essere una mostra che crea un dialogo, vuole porre degli interrogativi, cioè il passato non deve essere visto come una realtà immobile, ma come un motore che anima appunto il presente. E il futurismo deve essere visto sotto quest'ottica, come un movimento appunto che è stato estremamente innovativo e spesso queste intuizioni sono state anche recuperate appunto da movimenti contemporanei.
It's been very interesting to go from the beginning of the 20th century towards the end of the 20th century to understand this shifting notion of what the future can be. By the time we get to graffiti in the late 70s and early 80s, the promise isn't there so much. We start talking about like no future, which is what the punks said. With my generation, we were promised this impossible future when we were growing up, that we would all be riding in spaceships and walking on the moon. And of course, by the time we grew up, we were looking at maybe a less good situation. So we held on to the futurism, almost like a nostalgia.
For me, this painting is a representation of the macro and micro multiverse. When we think about the universe, often we think about several layers. And here it is a multiverse, so we're seeing multiple universes all existing in the same place. It's also a representation of the evolution of architecture, symbolism, and my work is a reflection of, indeed, a rebellion against communication.
I am not the first female to be part of the graffiti movement. There was a decade, all of the 1970s had dozens and dozens of women writing graffiti. I started in 1979, and at that time I was the first and only female when everything went above ground, where it is as you see it now.